Okay, fellas, listen up. Big day today. We've got the league in the bag, which is just as well because you were on the beach for 3 weeks since then. But that's okay. It's time to switch back on now and make sure we bring home this cup and complete the double. I want to be a club legend in case we get a new stadium built, or it's got to be named after me and not one of you clowns.
Jarune, za tebe mi dijete diše, tu je važno samo jedno, nogomet i ništa više. Jarune.
Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to your run on the Impossible Dream. It is Season 3, Episode 9, and today we have the first leg of the Croatian Cup Final. Then we finish off the league campaign against Dinamo. Thought that was the best way to do it. That way we can have the second leg and end the season awards like we would usually wrap up a season. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do today. Let's have a look, though, at what we've done to finish the league campaign, but all but one game. We were, of course, sensationally crowned champions last episode. There are 3 games that we've played since then. We have rotated, as you would expect us to do, and our first game was actually a preview of the final of the Croatian Cup. It was against Lokomotiva. We fell behind late in the first half, but Nunez drew us level before half-time, before Lokomotiva went back ahead. So a bit of a frustrating one, this one. We were the better team in the game, but it's goals that count, isn't it? Another stunning free kick from Nunez, but that was it. You know, 62% possession. And, well, that was the goal we scored. Couldn't get anything done from open play. Yeah, like I said, we've rotated a few players for this one. Not a great deal, not enough to explain why we lost. But yeah, I guess once you've won the title, these things can happen. They did miss a penalty early on as well that was saved by Zivkovic, that one. Next up, it was Rijeka. We took an early lead when Page crossed for Tommy G. And it was 2-0 when Djokovic crossed for Fillet, before a deflected effort pulled one back. But Page played in Tommy G to make it 3-1 at half-time. So a decent finish from Tommy G there at the end, wasn't it? Magnificent strike. We deserved this. This was much, much better. And this was the sort of performance that we should have had in the game against Lokomotiva. It was a stronger side. This was the last time that the Cup Final players were going to play before the Cup Final. We did have 1 or 2. Graf, our young academy defender, was in there. Djokovic again, because just giving Rovers a rest, and Rajikovic was still out injured. And yeah, it went okay, didn't it? Second half, we did give a couple of other youngsters off the bench, I believe. 2 of our young midfielders that come through the academy. They got some game time in the second half as well, which maybe explains why we didn't go on with any more goals after half time. Final game to catch you up on was against relegation threatened Varazdan. We fell behind late in the first half, but drew level when Pranjic played in Katuk, before Varazdan retook the lead late on, only for Persa to level it again in stoppage time. So, you know what, all things considered, a decent result. We out-XG'd them for whatever that's worth. And a devastating goal for them, because that goal meant that they go into the final game of the season bottom of the league by a point rather than a point ahead of Vukovar. So, yeah, that could be very devastating for them. It was a very much rotated side, quite a young side as well. Memic, I'm giving up on him as a right wing back for us. Page is absolutely brilliant. Memic, whenever he plays, is disappointing, and I had to actually sub him off and bring Rajikovic on and play him on the wrong side because he was just that bad. He really wasn't good. So there we go. That is how the league, with 1 game to go, we have against Dinamo. And, well, if we were to lose the Cup Final, I'm not saying that we should, but if we were to lose the Cup Final, that would mean that Lokomotiva would get the final place in Europe and Dinamo would be out altogether. But in a way, that might actually be a bad thing for us. We probably need them to be keeping themselves distracted in Europe. You know, if not just us, Hajduk and Rijeka there. But of course, if we beat them on the final day anyway, then who knows? Maybe Osijek will go ahead of them in any case. Osijek at home to Hajduk split. Maybe that is a big challenge for them. And if we look at the league leaders here, Tommy G is 2 goals clear for the Golden Boot. So could we have back-to-back Golden Boots in the top flight with different players as well? Of course, our Ghoul got it last season. Pajic, Rovers and Tolic are the top 3 in average match ratings, and Rovers and Page are currently tied with another guy for 14 assists. So there's a lot to play for final game of the league season, but right now we are all about the cup and the first leg here away to Lokomotiva. And it would be very nice to have a lead when we go back home, wouldn't it? We're expecting a 4-4-2 out of them. And this is the team that we are sending out. Rakic didn't quite make it. Okay, so we will bring in Kazina then for him. A couple of injuries. Obviously, you can see there Rakic has got blisters, so didn't quite make it back. He probably could play, but there's no point risking him. Pranjic has got a bruise, so he'll be fine. Todorovic is close. He's 4 days away. We will have him for the second leg. I'm not going to risk him for this one. Bekenic is injured. That's a big blow. It could potentially be season over for him, or he might get back for the second leg of the final. And that was everything, I think, to catch you up on, in terms of injuries. So, Zivkovic goes in goal. Then we've got Hartman, Kazina, and Zebic. It's not the strongest defence, is it? What we've had all season. Pajic and Rovers, though, are back. They'll go down the wings. Dashka, Nunez, and Tolic are the first-choice midfielders. Philip and Tommy G up front. Let's go win a cup, boys. Let's go win a cup. So we have a familiar name in their starting lineup. Boskovic is starting for them, and Andone has scored a few goals against us, hasn't he? That name certainly sounds familiar. But it feels like the sort of game where if we do what we should be doing, then we're a better team than them, aren't we? So yeah, we'll see what we get when we get out there. And here we go. I'm not sure I like a two-leg cup final. I kind of like it being, the one game, and you either win or you don't. The two-leg, and I didn't check if there's away goals. I'm assuming not, if I'm honest. I don't think there would be away goals, but I haven't checked, so your guess is as good as mine. This was, of course, previously an affiliate club of ours. Now, I did ask about a senior affiliate club, and they came back to me with a bunch of semi-professional sort of lower league Croatian teams, and I just kind of declined it because we're going to have to pay them a fee, and I didn't think there was going to be much in it for us. Now, Nunez has nicked possession there. Let's see if we can, early on here, go and take a lead. Nice ball there for Pajic. Pajic doing what he does, gets the cross in front of goal and fill it. He's made a living at this club, finishing chances like that, and on this occasion, he couldn't find the back of the net. Can we win that? We can, but Lokomotiva come forward. It's obviously not ideal that we lost the game in the league against some good clearance there by Kazina, and it set Gorgi a little bit free. Tolic for Fillet, and that's a good intelligent pass back there for Hartman. It's obviously not ideal that Bekenic is injured, but we will do our best to get by without him. As Nunez to Kazina. Zebic forward there for Tolic. Good ball to find Pajic getting forward. Pajic goes himself. He's been in good goal scoring form late in the season. But you wonder there if there was a better argument to go down to the byline and pull it back across goal. But anyway, can't change it now. And we will go again. 72% possession we've had. We're not particularly good at breaking teams down, are we? Maybe we need to do some chance creation. But here we go now with Fillet. Tommy G. Rovers started, then stopped his run. It is nicked away from Fillet there. Oh, I thought that was going straight to him. And Tolic, can he pounce? He can. Tolic with a chance to Fillet. Fillet through the goalkeeper. And a 19th of the season for Elias Fillet. And it is 1-0 in the first leg of this cup final. 25 minutes gone. And that wasn't the greatest clearance, was it? And they sort of put themselves under pressure. Tolic won it back. And then fed it through for Fillet, and through the defender's legs, past the goalkeeper. May have taken a nick off the defender there as well, which would have not helped the goalkeeper, of course. But, and now Fillet is injured. So Pranjic can come on, that's not a problem. Hopefully, that's not season over for Fillet. Although the only thing we have to play for is the cup. So, there's worse times for someone to get injured as the cross comes in, and Tommy G with number 24 of the season. We are 2-0 up now, inside half an hour. Only just inside half an hour, but it sounds better if you say that. And it's Pajic again, isn't it? A little bit of luck there, perhaps. But Pajic to Tommy G has been a very rich source of goals for us. And I think it tends to be Rovers to Fillet too, doesn't it? Not always, not exclusively, but they seem to be the way that that it works. I wonder if that's going to the back post from each side kind of thing. But 2-0 coming in towards half-time. We have dominated possession. We have more or less shut them down at the back. And as I say that, we've got a corner to defend. And it hit the crossbar on the way over. It did. It was Boskovic as well, who we know from his time with us is quite decent in the air. But we get away with it. It is 2-0. We will say don't get complacent. Don't let those performance levels drop. And if we can see this out now, take a 2-0 lead home for the second leg, we'd all be quite pleased, I think, wouldn't we? Now, one thing we could do, if the injury to Phillip is more serious and he is going to miss the second leg, Tolik is more than capable of playing as a deep-lying forward. Cross comes in, it's towards Tommy G, and it's over the top. I think the goalkeeper probably put him off a little bit there. But I don't think we'd need to worry about doing that. And if one of these two, if Pranjic or Tommy G was to get injured, then we'd probably have to have a look. Flares again. There was people have been saying in the comments, and on, I think it was Discord as well, they've never seen flares before, and I don't think I had either. I wonder if it's sort of exclusive to leagues that I've never been to a game of Croatian football. Are flares banned in Croatian football? I wonder if leagues where they're not banned, then it should have been a tap in. But I wonder if leagues where if they're not actually banned to take into the stadium, then the game can put them in there, and leagues where they are banned, then they can't, because obviously they are banned from English grounds, as Tolik puts one just over. I think we've probably all been in the ground where there's been flares unleashed. I know I certainly have. I know when I used to go to some MLS games, there was always flares being let off, but I don't think they were necessarily supposed to be happening. And that was a few years ago now. It may well be that things have cracked down on MLS. Because personally, I love it. I think it just adds so much to the atmosphere. But I can definitely see, if you've got young kids, you don't necessarily want them in that sort of, it is kind of an intimidating atmosphere. Do we want to make any changes here? I think we just kind of keep going, don't we? And if you've got like asthma or lung issues, you don't want to be breathing that crap in. So I completely understand why they're banned, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't like them. But yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? Plus, you know, you can get quite seriously burned. I think people have been killed by flares being thrown, and that is not worth a bit of atmosphere by any stretch of the imagination. Nunes turns! Nunes has snuck it in past the goalkeeper, and it's 3-0 in stoppage time. It's probably the last kick of the game, and Nunes has put our hands all but on this Croatian Cup trophy. There was nothing really on, was there? Hartman's stolen an assist, and it just was, the goalkeeper's going to do better, but he probably was screened a little bit by his defence, and it was just always moving a little bit away from him, wasn't it? And it is 3-0 at the end of the first leg. We will go home, and it will be hopefully party time as we just have to see out 90 minutes without losing by 4. So Jarun turned dominance into victory. I did just check, there is no away goals, so that's fine. Oh, it's a month. So it is a season ender for Phillip. It should be okay, though. You would hope, beyond hope, that we have done enough to win that final. And now is Rovers suspended? He'll be suspended for the Dinamo Zagreb game, so that's absolutely fine. He'll be back for the second leg. Guys, wait right there, because we'll be back for Dinamo Zagreb, and hopefully we'll finish the season off in big style. Okay, welcome back. Now, with nothing to play for and with having to rest players for the second leg of the Cup just to be safe, we're going to do something a little bit different against Dinamo here. There's nothing riding on it for us. There is for them, hugely, because you'd expect us to go on and win the Cup from here, and that means that this is going to be a European spot. So they've got the goal difference over Aussie. They need to make sure that they are, matching their result, basically, don't they? So let's have a look here. We're doing we're expecting, I should say, a 4-2-3-1 out of them. And we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to give some players some game time that I don't think have ever played before, and just see where, how this works out for us. So Zivkovic will stay in goal. We'll try and give him the match sharpness. Todorovic is not quite fit. Is he due back tomorrow? No, it's not quite worth it, I don't think. So Radjakovic, Hartman, Rasic, and Memic. That'll be our back four. Stankovic, Trugranic, and Perso will be the midfield trio. Nadenic, let's go with that. He has come through our academy. He is a right winger. We've never really had wingers to play with before, so we're going to just see how he goes. It's very early in his career yet, and he's probably not quite ready to start anyway, but let's just see how he goes. Kasevich will go as an inside forward on the left. We have tried him in this position before, I believe. And then Katuk, who is on loan from Dinamo, he'll get the start up front. And we'll just kind of get an idea of if this is something potentially, because we're going to have to do a big recruitment over the summer, and see if this is potentially a sort of formation that we could have, to use as a secondary sort of fallback formation. Alright, So we can see the team sheets here. There's a few names in their lineup that I recognize. It's actually a little bit different to what we would usually get. Now, they do have a new manager here we can see as well. But yeah, this is I do like to show these sorts of things when we're experimenting. All right, let's go with that. It's good to sort of get you guys' opinion as well, because it's sort of fresh eyes on players here that you probably haven't seen before. Because I sort of have I have an idea in my mind what I want to happen, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it is going to happen. But you kind of sometimes see what you want to see. So I do enjoy getting you guys' opinion on if things are working out as I would expect them to. Now, players that are leaving and they're on the bench here. There's no one really that's been a big servant of the club necessarily. There's a couple of the defenders. Karabatic actually is leaving. He's been out on loan. I don't think I ever told you that. He's been out on loan second half of the season. There's a couple that I'm not sure if Stankovic might be leaving. I'd have to double check if his contract's up or not. You don't like falling behind from a corner when you're trying to get an idea if something's going to work for you or not in sort of a formation. That doesn't really help us, does it? But early goal for Dinamo. And like I say, I'm a little bit torn if we want them in Europe and distracted for the league, or if it's just get them out of Europe, they don't get that money, and see what that does for them. But we'll see. It's not a strong team that we've put out, I'll be honest. There's Memic again, and Hartman combining to just about see them in, but we got away with it. So Mena is leaving. I don't think anyone's going to miss him. I've been trying to get rid of him for ages, and he refuses to go. So thankfully, when his contract is up, he doesn't have a choice. I am increasingly thinking that perhaps Purser is not the player I thought he was. I think he's one of these guys. He was really good. Oh, this guy looks okay, actually. They've got from somewhere there. I think Purser was good when he played every week, but he's not going to be that sort of player for us right now. And if he's not going to be able to come in and do the job, in the league where we're going to need him to, or even in Europe, maybe that's where we'd need him, then what's the point of him, kind of thing. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I think... Rakic. Oh, that wasn't a penalty. That looked a penalty, I've got to be honest. Rakic is staying. Memic, I think, as I said before, we're going to let him go. His attributes actually look like he should be better than Pajic, but he's just not quite ever... Oh, I thought the referee was going to get in the way there. He's just never worked out for us, so we won't bother with him anymore. I don't think we'll get the replacement. We should be in a position now as Croatian champions to attract better players. Obviously, the club reputation isn't going to suddenly become, 4-star reputation or anything, because our facilities and all that kind of stuff aren't going to be there yet. But we should... Oh, that's not a good pass from Trugranic. You could see what he was trying to do, but it was just nowhere near getting to Nadenic, was it? As, again, they've pulled it back, caught us out, and we are 2-0 down. Let's give them a berating. It's never great to sort of base your whole thought process on a formation off of one performance, particularly away to a Dinamo that is very much back in form under the new manager. Because you remember, like, where they are now, it looks like they're going to get into Europe. They were 2 points above relegation at the winter break. Or just around the winter break, maybe just before it. We've not had a shot. We've been poor. Doesn't quite seem to sum it up enough, does it? So let's get rid of some things here and see if that works for us. We'll come into half time. We've had possession. We've just done nothing with it. So, an XG of 0. Terrible, guys. Absolutely terrible. There's a big part of me that says we bail on this. But let's see. Yeah, let's see what we do. What if we raise the tempo a little bit and hit some early crosses in? See if that works for us. We've had something. We've had an XG of 0.01. So it's better than nothing, but only just. Let's encourage them. And we're going all the way up the other end. Completely missed it. And let's see what becomes of this as we half clear, but not completely. And I tell you what, there's been a few collisions in the box that I half expect to be given as penalties. Kovacic on the other side is not having a great game. Nadenic isn't really working out. I think maybe one of the big problems that we've got with this formation is we probably we don't have the quality of player enough to be able to play it. So we'll go and change things up here. So we'll go back to this sort of a formation. We're going to bring Brigic on for Stankovic, who's not had a great game. Pejic or Peg. I'm not quite sure how I was going to say that, but he comes on for Kovacic or whatever his name is, this guy, and Galasic, who will probably be leaving in the summer. He's going to come on and play at the back as that third centre back for the right-sided winger. So, yeah, not a great way to end the league campaign. It's been a fantastic campaign, obviously, but and like I say, the reason that we've picked this team is because the first teamers are this is the Saturday or the Sunday, I forget which day of the week it is, but then we've got Wednesday again. We've got the second leg of the cup final. Now, as much as it should be safe, you don't want to count those chickens just yet. So that's why it's very much a reserve team that's gone out. And of course, I mean, it was a reserve team that knocked them out of the cup, wasn't it? We put the reserve team out for that. As full Purser. Possibly should have done a little bit better with that chance. Let's encourage them. If there's one thing we are picking up from this already, it's that this is very much the way we need to play, isn't it? Now, like I say, whether that's down to familiarity, whether that is down to just we didn't really have the wide players to play the other way. You know, people will have their own opinions on that. Radjikovic isn't having a great game, so let's get Djokovic on. Tregrenic, all right, you can come off, mate, and we'll get our young midfielder on, and that's probably us done for subs then, is it? Yeah. Which is fine, as Zivkovic makes a fairly comfortable save. Well, let's encourage them again. As anxious, it's just not been good, has it? Yeah. Oh, I mean, what can we do? We've had as I said, we had a wonderful campaign. You will get today, if you haven't voted for Viewers Player of the Year, I'll leave the poll up in the comments for this one. As is Mamovatov or whatever his name is. Very, very close to a first goal for the club there. So yeah, you can vote for that. Next episode will be the second leg of the final. Let's hope we lift that trophy, complete the double. Then we'll have our end of season awards and also goal of the season, of which we did not see any in that game. So disappointing is the only word for that, isn't it? But you know, we kind of half expected that could happen, I would imagine. Not happy with you, mate. Go back to your parent club. So there we go. That is how the league season ends, and Varazdan have beaten Vukovar on the final day to stay up. So Vukovar, they come up and then they go straight back down again. And as for Osijek, well, we didn't do them any favours there. They held up their end of the bargain, but we got hammered by Dinamo. So they will be going into Europe if we hold on to our lead in the cup. So Dinamo Zagreb eased to victory. It doesn't matter. The city is still ours because we are the champions. We've paid out 105 grand. Jesus Christ. Can we afford 105 grand? The money from Al Ghul's almost gone already. That's ridiculous. Anyway, we're going to have to pay out bonuses for the cup as well, aren't we? That is that. Apologies for the Dinamo game. It wasn't great, but we will be back at home to Lokomotiva in the second leg of the cup final. We will need to not lose by 3 goals or more, and if we can do that, then we will be the double winners for the season. And what a season this has been, for only our third at the club, of course. But so if you've enjoyed it, thumbs up, subscribe if you're new. If you haven't yet, vote for your player of the year, and I'll see you next time. Take care.